Hey guys, it is Cree 21 Boom, right back at you. Okay, so earlier I was on this here guy right here's podcast, and we were talking about relationships and gold digging and some other stuff.
Golly.
And then right after that, believe it or not, I did a couple of line dance videos. Y'all ain't seen those yet because I had to make some corrections. But I'm gonna get back to that too. And right after that, I was jamming out. And if you didn't catch my live jamming out, I need y'all to go back and check that out. I should be on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I was playing my son, my nephew's music, and I'm telling you, man, they are so talented. Y'all just go check it out and listen to it. Let me know what y'all think about it. And that brings me to this point. Right now, as I mentioned earlier, that I'll be doing a singles segment to my show. I even introduced myself. Introduced myself. I interviewed myself, what was pretty weird and awkward, but I made it happen because this is what I do. I'm a complete weirdo, and I make no apologies for it, guys. I really don't. I kind of love me a whole lot. You know what I mean? So that brings me to another episode of my singles. Where's the love? Is it Killeen, Texas? Is it Harker Heights? Is it New York? Who knows where the love is? But let's get our single man up here, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. And ladies, I hope y'all chiming in. All right, I hope y'all chiming in because there's really some guys out here that's looking for some genuine connections and love. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to my guest, Falon.
Hey everybody, how's it going, man? My name is Falon McKnight. I go by PM, the PM Lifestyle Podcast. And I'm here with my friend Cree, and she promised me she gonna make it happen for me. So we're gonna see how this goes. So I'm gonna give it a shot.
Hey Don, how you
Give it a
doing?
shot.
Thanks for tuning in. Hey,
Uh,
all my single friends, I hope y'all tuning in because you just never know where you might find love, right?
man,
All right, so how this works is I'm going to ask the questions and then you're going to answer. And then obviously, if you don't want to share, you don't have to, but the more information you put out there, and this guy, he's prides himself on being transparent. So the more information he puts out there, the better y'all get a feel of what he's looking for, who he is, and whether or not y'all might be a good fit. Completely up to y'all. All I ask for is a little feedback, a little recognition if I make a love connection or something. Hey Renee, how you doing, darling? Y'all check in now, cause I'm telling you, man, y'all don't think there's no single good guys out there, but I'm gonna keep trying to have them on weekly so y'all can see there's somebody out there looking for somebody. Y'all got any questions for these guys? Y'all make sure y'all put it in the comments, and he'll answer them with no problem. But we're gonna go ahead and kick this thing off. And he already introduced himself, but we're gonna ask him again. Can you give us your name, please?
I go by Falon McKnight, aka P, is what they call me.
Hey.
P,
And
letter
your
P.
age?
Man, I'm 47 years old. Youngest.
47 years old.
And boom, there we go.
Who would have thought we'd be at this good old healthy age still looking for love? Like, you know what I mean? Boy, I tell you, you got to knock yourself down a few times and then get up and figure things out. That brings me my question number three. Where are you from originally, and then where do you currently reside?
I was born in Kansas City, so go Chiefs. I was raised in Compton, California, so I moved, and I'm currently in Dallas, Texas. So I moved to Dallas when I was like in 95, 96. So I grew up in Los Angeles, yes.
Okay, Compton.
That part.
How many kids do you have?
I currently have three daughters and one son. My son's a grown man, and my daughters are grown women. They're in their 20s, and my youngest right now, she's 13.
13 and youngest. So four kids, and youngest is 13.
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's get into some interesting questions. Can she have kids?
Oh, I was about to say, who, my kids? Heck no. Right now, like you wouldn't have to deal with my children, so I'm possibly not looking for kids because that's a crazy dynamic.
So when you say possibly, like you gotta be, can you give us a little bit more? Like, I guess you have to be an extraordinary woman if she has kids. Like, what do you mean by
No,
possibly?
I
Like,
mean, it really depends on what your situation is. Like, you might have, a dad, baby dad, or kid's father, excuse me, that likes to pop up, chase you around town, pop up at dinner dates, and what I mean, hanging from the window pane, and there's just certain stuff as an adult male
it
I don't
happens,
deal
right?
with. Uh,
It happens, right?
I've been hearing, yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there.
But the question is, can she have kids? So
Does she
if you're
have
gonna
kids?
say
Well, let me just cut and dry. I would prefer no. So no, I would say no.
no kids,
I mean, she can have
well,
them, but
she can.
none under 18. That's
There
all.
you go. Okay, that's
Yeah,
more specific.
there
But
you
you
go.
have a daughter that's 13, but she can't have any under 18.
Because this
Somebody.
person will never see my daughter, so my daughter is taken care of. So my daughter has nothing to do with my current situations. But most of the time, if a woman is dating a man or anything like that, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, that child is still in the home with the mother. Very small cases that you ever see that 15% whether with their dad. So it's a little bit different.
So you just got rid of like most of the women, single women with children by saying, I'm just
Eight,
saying it's good. It's
eight.
your preference is what it is. I'm
What's
not
the
knocking you on your preference. I'm
what's
just
the
saying,
chances
you
of
know
them
how that
having
that
a young one?
that pool is wide. You just made it like
We narrowing this thing down, aren't we? We're trying to
I
get
like
to
that.
the
Okay. All
trying to
right.
get
So
to what we need to find.
no kids under 18. Got it. What about pets? It's a shame we got to add that to the equation, but some people do not like animals.
I have an animal myself. I have a little bully. As long as you don't have no like spiders, nothing like that, we good.
Spiders. What if they have snakes and like reptiles and stuff?
I work with snakes. I know I
Huh?
am a snake. I work with snakes.
Mm.
Not scared of snakes.
No pet spiders though. Okay.
Yeah, no.
What if
Even
she's
though
like
that's
a
an
cat lady?
insect, but it's not a
What if
pet.
she's a
What?
cat lady and have like three
Yeah,
cats?
yeah, yeah. I don't like it fast. Sorry. By meows.
No cats?
Okay. So
All right, ladies, I
you
hope
only
y'all
need
taking notes.
you only need one cat, and that ain't the one that's gonna be purring around the house.
Does she have to be local?
It's crazy that you say that. I haven't heard about long distance relationships in a long time, or if they're working or not working. So I would say, no, she doesn't have to be local. Give me something to do.
Okay, so you are willing to travel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What else can we do on the weekend?
And what is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
Mm.
What was
Is
that
there
face, Free? Why you
wait, what
look?
happened?
Why
Oh,
you
hey,
look
my
like this?
sister's a Scorpio,
Right,
love
yeah.
her to death.
Okay, just checking.
I
Making
don't
sure.
know any Scorpio men. Is there any sign you wouldn't date?
I'm not an astrology type of guy. I mean, I just know
Okay.
what my sign provides. But I couldn't tell you. Most people are like, oh no, I can't date no Aries or no Pisces.
Right.
I don't dib and dab into that. I stick to my own.
Don said there's nothing wrong with preferences. Hey guys, if y'all watching, my viewers, thank y'all for watching. First of all, if y'all have any questions for Mr. P, Mr. Falan, y'all can ask him, and he'll be more than happy to answer them. I
Yeah,
think.
let's get it in.
All right, and believe it or not, we on our number 11th question. What do you do for
That
a living?
fast?
Yes, it goes
Oh
fast.
man, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple of businesses. I have a barbershop. Um, I'm a personal protection officer, so bodyguard in some sense. What else I do? Licensed firearm instructor, so I can teach you how to shoot, defend yourself.
No, we need that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that crazy baby daddy comes around for your 18-year-old plus, if he's still hanging around, I can show you how to defend yourself if you're trying to get in your house.
Uh, now, does she have to make a certain amount of money?
Nah, nah.
Mm.
Like they still ask that question nowadays. Like I've never asked a woman how much money she makes. It's never been a preference of mine.
Most what they consider real men don't.
Oh, I was about to say ask. I was about to say no, ask that question.
Um, oh, got a question. This question though is actually one of my questions, so I'll get to that in a minute. Number 13, what kind of person are you looking for? And if you want to
Man,
kind of narrow it down to like three qualities that you're looking for, that'll
I
work too. But you
do.
can go ahead and explain it how you would like.
I need you to be honest and loyal to what you do. If you're honest, I can ask you anything and find out what I need to know. If you're loyal, dedicated to me, then we ain't gonna have a problem. I can't expect you to step out and do whatever. We focused on each other. So with those two requirements, you know what I mean, that's all I ask for.
Okay. Now, number 14, do you possess these qualities already?
Correct. You have to. I can't ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do for you. So I have to possess those qualities.
Well, you can, because lots of people do.
What?
Ask people to do stuff that they're not willing to do themselves.
Real?
Yeah, absolutely. You need an example?
Yeah, give me one.
Let's see. A man saying, "Oh, for my birthday, I like to have a threesome," but he
And then
himself is not willing to be with another man.
that's a man law. You can't,
Man
that's
law.
man law. Yeah.
Depends on who you're talking to. I know some open men out there with open minds.
Well, open men might leave you to open cases. That's why Diddy locked up. So you might need to watch out for that type of stuff. If any man is willing to be in another room with another man hanging around, then something's wrong.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I
What
mean, just
age
saying.
range? Oh, hold on. Go
West,
ahead. Go ahead.
unless you with West Coast Productions or something like that, you're getting paid
So
for
you
it.
telling me you never experienced like when you were younger or whatever,
Yeah, man,
you
you
and your
probably
homeboy,
like,
y'all ain't never ran no trains or nothing like that?
I plead the fifth.
That's what I thought. All right, so you see how guys like they say stuff and it'd be like man code, all this and that, and then you really dive deep into their experiences. It's like, bro, just keep it real. But whatever. He says he's what he's asking for, y'all. And he mean now. That mean he was that then. So we do understand you mean now.
Current day, yeah.
All right. So what age range are you willing to date?
Age range, man, we have to be able to relate. So we're gonna say, I say 35 and up. And that
35 and
35,
up. When you say
yeah.
up, how up are we going? Because there's some ladies out here looking, man. They need to know.
Hey man, it's some women up in that bracket, in the up bracket. That's
What upper
way
bracket?
better
You
than some
talking like 50s, 60s?
50s, 60s. I just went to a place in Louisville this Friday, and I don't go
Mhm.
out much. The older women in there were a lot more presentable than the younger women that I've seen in a long time. And I was shocked because I didn't know they still exist. You know what I mean? And I was like,
Mm.
well, okay, this ratio is kind of crazy. So if they can do it, the younger women can do it. So, um, and of course they were with, their people. Some of them were single and stuff like that, or by
When you
themselves.
say when you say
But
older, what kind of age was you talking about that you saw? It was
I know at least they were like 60, 65.
60s. Oh, okay.
And I ain't gonna lie to you. I know I seen about an 80-year-old walking up in there, and
An 80-year-old?
man, she was walking out. She was struggling to get out of there. Now I ain't gonna say she was one of those ones, but she was in the building. Yeah,
Wow.
she
That's
was up in
crazy.
the building. I forgot the name of the spot, but it was
All
crazy. It
right.
had a lot of music and everything.
Nice. So 35 and up. And that does not exclude 60s. So if y'all got it going on in your 60s, he's open. I love it. Have you ever been married?
Once, yeah.
Okay. Believe it or not, we're on number
Once,
18. Are you dating with intention to remarry? And just elaborate a little bit on that.
um, yeah. I mean, because just because the first one didn't work out, doesn't mean the second one didn't work out. You know, what I mean, I really believe that it's a good thing to be in a marriage. You know what I mean, or married to someone. Somebody's gonna have your back in the later years. Y'all can have, take trips, do whatever y'all gonna do. But yeah, you can do that.
You can have a partner for that. Do you need to be married for that?
Yeah, but your partner can leave if you're locked in with somebody. You ever seen them commercials when you see them videos of the older man and older woman and they just dancing and they in different locations and they traveling and all that and they struggle, they, what I mean,
Yeah, that
staggering out the spot
fantasy,
because they old.
that unrealistic
Huh?
presentation they put of
No, I know some older people that's
Do you know some personally?
yes. That's why I believe it can happen.
Okay.
I have family members that's been married for years, like at least 20, 30 years. A lot of them.
And
My
happy?
average happily married. The average marriage that I'm seeing in my families are like at least 20 years.
I
So
love
it's
that.
possible.
I
This
love
new
that
age
for
stuff
your
is just
family.
different. What is that?
I don't have that in my family, so I don't.
Oh yeah, man. Everybody, are
But I'm hopeful.
locked up.
I'm hopeful.
It's possible.
Yeah. So you are dating with the intention to remarry. Let's be clear on that.
Yeah, correct.
He is dating with the intention to remarry, lady. These
Yeah, well, so you said lady, like it was one. You said lady.
ladies, because you to find your matches, the first 20,000 people that go on your inbox, they might not be your match, but that 2001 person might be it. You never know.
You definitely have to like date. Some at some point in time in the past, they've taken that out of dating. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not really exploring and seeing what's going on the market. You know what I'm saying? Most people get together within that first week or two, and they're like, "Oh, we locked in," and stay together,
That's
for some
it.
things
It
to
is what
happen.
it
Yeah,
is.
you don't really get to explore what's really out there and your options and stuff like that. So they tend to lock in and then waste a lot of time, like in
It's
with assuming that that person is your one. Your person might not be right here in the United States. They could be possibly in South America, Europe, something like that, Africa. You never know.
they could have got swallowed too.
Okay, okay, that that is a very extreme case.
Let me ask you this, right? So are you
What would
are
you
a
do?
person who believes in dating multiple people at the same time, or do you
Dating,
exclusively date one at a time?
well, if you're honest with those people, like, hey, when y'all meet, talk, or whatever, are you seeing other people? Because the question from dating has been messed up for the last couple of years. A person can say they're dating and it's always a one-on-one. I've had this conversation with some people in my family that were single. And when you ask them dating, it's kind of like when you use the term talking or we're talking. Some people get it mixed up between talking and dating. So I honestly believe that if you're talking to a person and you're like, look, I'm seeing other people, I'm dating, this is what it is, and you're 100% honest with those people, then they have that expectation from the jump, right? So you don't have to worry about somebody catching you out in the streets or at another restaurant or something like that. And they're like, oh, I talked to this my dude or whatever. You know what I mean? So if you iron that out in the beginning, then you don't have to worry about none of that. So yeah, I do believe in if you're gonna do it, just tell a person. That's it.
I agree. I completely agree with that. I think I always say this: honesty is the foundation of any situation that you are going to be a part of, and you let people decide whether or not they want to move forward with you instead of trying to control the narrative and
Yeah.
lying and
And
manipulating.
that's one of my two requirements. Get
Yeah.
honesty out of the way, then we're gonna figure out the rest. You know what I'm saying? I can ask you anything, you're gonna tell me. And then whatever, I have to be able to be willing to accept what you tell me. I gotta be able to deal with it. So that's what it is.
A lot of times, though, people are not even honest with themselves. I think that's a struggle. Like people being honest with them about what they really want.
You
Like
have to
it's because
be totally
sometimes you
honest
get
with
it
yourself.
and then you realize, okay, no, I didn't want this. And what they was looking for was that honeymoon phase over and over again situation. And once it fizzled out, it's like, yep, this ain't work. Or I
Right.
fell out of like, or we grew apart. Like I've heard these things all the time. And it's really that individual. It's not the other person. Like, but we take it on when somebody do that to us and think something wrong with us. But it's really the other person. Getting off topic though. Number 19, what are some of your deal breakers?
Deal, ooh, deal breakers.
Hmm.
Um, a deal breaker. Well, if you're a liar, if I catch you in a lie, that's a deal breaker. You know what I mean? Exaggerator. That's a deal breaker. You bringing me close to the truth, but not really, or you're making it too much. Um, and if you don't have a clean crib, that's definitely a deal breaker for me. If you're not a
A
clean
clean
person,
what? Oh,
yeah, clean person. You definitely have to be clean.
Hi, Jane. What would you say to a person who says everybody lies?
Probably so. A lot of people lie.
I
They
know,
say
but I'm just
numbers
saying,
don't.
like you saying, if I catch you in a lie, then that's a deal breaker. But and then you followed up and you agree with me that everybody lies.
Yeah, that's why I know what I'm looking for is a person that don't do it. Everybody lies. So
That
this how
don't
it
lie.
happens. I'm gonna meet you in the beginning, right?
Hmm.
Remember what you told me in the beginning, because I might ask you that same question in the end, right? So when I meet you, you have no reason for me to. It's like getting a good credit report. You have 100%. The more I meet, engage with you and things like that, that's gonna tell me whether what's going on. I might ask some questions, and you might stay up, remain up here. I might ask you some other things, and then a month, 2 months later, or a year later, you tell me something, and your credit fails. So that's why people have good credit and bad credit. I'm just not a person that's gonna help you rebuild your credit.
I like that. What would you say about a person who don't ask questions that you like date? Like, what would you
They
tell
don't
women
ask
if a
questions.
man don't ask you questions? What would you say about that?
He don't care about you. He
Mm,
doesn't. He's not really that interested in it. If he's not asking questions to figure it out, then what you in it for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the purpose? That means that he has something else, or he has multiple, or something like that, to where he doesn't care about you. He's just temporary for that moment.
mm, I
And
can
then
get
9 times out of 10, he might be hiding something, so you gotta watch out for those.
10 times out of 10, y'all, he's probably hiding something, in my opinion. Number 20, more than halfway through with this interview already. Does she have to look a certain way?
Yeah, natural. Yeah.
E- Explain.
Explain.
Yeah, just give us a brief.
I would prefer a natural woman. I'm not too into the wigs, the weaves, what some people say BBLs, but you can't really tell those, you know what I mean? But you can tell when it's oversized. But I would prefer a natural woman. I want a woman that can get up in the morning and however she went to sleep, that's what I want to wake up to in the morning. However, I met you and then you were natural, you know what I mean? That's what I prefer.
But
Again,
sometimes women like a
what?
little makeup to, accentuate their beauty, like enhance their beauty. Like, you have a problem with makeup? Like, what do you?
Um, like I knew this one chick, she only wore red lipstick. To me, it just put me in the mind of a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? It's just like certain complexions, it doesn't look right on it. Taylor Swift, she wears red lipstick. First thing I say, oh, prostitute. Like it's just something with the red lipstick. I don't know. I would prefer. I think there's natural beauties out there. There are women that don't need to wear makeup, and if I can find that, it's gonna be what it is. You know, what I mean, you might do your lip liners and all that, or whatever, lip gloss, whatever
What
it
about
is.
your
It's a
eyelashes?
personal preference. No fans. No fans. Not a fan of
Where
fans.
the fans at? Where
Yeah,
the
I'm not I'm not a fan of fans neither. I mean, because you was born with it. You was born. Okay, look, we go travel somewhere, right? And your bags get. We go somewhere for about 5 days, and your bags get caught up in customs or wherever we're at. You mean to tell me you can't function, or you can't go out, or go in your natural essence? You know what I'm saying? We go swimming, and you dip under the water. I want you to come up, and then you missing half a eyelash, makeup, and all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just
eyebrows
like
on?
it's natural women out there that's just getting it in. So I can't really. I'm not knocking you if you do it. That's for you, but it's just not for P. That's all I'm saying.
How do you feel about smoking and drinking?
Smoking, I don't like cigarettes. If you want to smoke a little uh, marijuana, whatever you do, that's cool. You know what I mean? You do whatever you do. And drinking, as long as you don't get belligerent and crazy and forget where you're at and who you with, or like to fight, start fights and stuff like that, I'm not cool with that. But if you can manage yourself and do whatever you're doing, that's totally up to you. Just don't be missing work or beating your kids or doing anything crazy, and you gotta go to jail and end up in situations. Or calling me in the middle of the night like, "Can you come bail me out of Loose Stairs or LA County Jail?" Nah, I don't know why you was drinking and driving in the first place, man. That's crazy. But if you do it in moderation, you can do whatever it is to keep yourself cool, and yeah, go ahead and do what you do.
This brings me to my question and also Paula Williams' question. How long have you been single?
Um, I just got out of a marriage that was 10 years. We was separated for 5, married for 5. So you can say that 5 and another 2, so almost 6 years, maybe 7 years, 6, 7, 7 years.
So your last relationship was a marriage that lasted.
We were married on paper for 10,
Mhm.
separated for 5, and probably a year and a half, 2 years after that. So you're about looking at about 7 total.
So 7 years single,
Correct.
even though you were still on paper 5 of those years, but 7 years without.
Well, single, yes.
Okay, so when was your last situation?
Situation
Uh huh.
before marriage?
Uh
Uh,
uh. Within the 7 years, are you saying you didn't have no situation
no
within the 7 years?
no situationships, no entanglements. I was actually building businesses, so I had to build the barbershop, the business around there. I was going to school for a lot of my qualifications. The pandemic had hit, so I was doing a lot of that. I have a 13-year-old, so I'm at functions like soccer games and cheerleaders and basketball games. I'm on daddy duty. I'm never off work. You know what I mean? Like when I'm at work, when I'm actually doing what I'm doing, I'm with my kid, you know what I mean, like my daughter. So a lot of that time is going to her.
So
Her
7
function.
years, you just was practicing abstinence.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Philip says, I'm looking as well. Match me up too. All right, Philip, you can be on my show. You already know. And Don said, nothing wrong with preferences. And wait a minute, somebody said, Nikidra said, shut up. What'd I say? It must have been by my soulmate getting swallowed. That must be what she. And
Crazy.
Philip said, I'm
That's
single and want to
crazy.
be married soon. That's see like something like that. I'm single and want to be married soon. Like men say stuff. I think a lot of men say stuff because they think women want to hear the trash, but I don't believe it. A lot of
Why
them
they
don't
can't
believe it.
be speaking their truth? Why they gotta be saying what women want to hear?
That is my opinion.
No, no, I'm asking you why
Why
would
do
that
I
be?
have that opinion? Because I've experienced it with men.
Oh, okay.
They know women fall in love with their ears, like I was saying on your show. Like so they speak these things and women you see how a girl was when you was talking about how you gonna dive deep into whoever you meet. She was like, oh, and then the other girl was like, yeah, yeah. And I was just like, mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Because you cannot like that expression that you show, men know. They know what women like. They like to hear. So, anywho's, does religion matter?
Yeah. Gotta be
Elaborate.
equally yo, you feel me?
Elaborate.
Elaborate. I just
Hmm.
said it. You gotta be equally yoked. You
I
gotta have
know,
some
but
kind of belief
what
system.
that doesn't say what religion, or does it matter what religion?
You have to have some. You have to believe in something because reality here, we just didn't get here like this. You know what I mean? So that
So no
puts you
to
in
an atheist.
an atheist. Yeah, no to atheist. We're gonna be bumping heads every time it say let's say grace.
Mm.
Next thing food
Do
is
you
off the
pray over
table.
your food?
Huh?
Do you pray over your food?
Yeah,
You
I'm
say
thankful
grace?
for it. I say my prayers in the morning and the night. I pray for other people. I pray for my enemies. I pray for,
Do
I'm
you say
thankful for
grace
my
over
family.
your food?
Yeah, and
Do
along
you
with other
teach
things
your
that I
daughter to
just
pray?
mentioned. Huh?
Do you teach your daughter to pray?
Yes, we went to church this morning.
Okay. All right, y'all hear that,
Mm.
ladies? Okay. What would an ideal date look like with you?
Man, just chopping it up, having fun, getting to know each other. No stress. No doesn't have to be no crazy environments, nothing like that. Come as you are, man. Like let's put it on the table and just talk. Judge free zone. And a nice little environment, nothing major.
Nice little environment and chop it up.
Mhm.
That's your
Talk,
ideal
music
date.
playing, like, you can have music playing. It could be at a place where they do live music. I do like, they have this place called the balcony. It's in Lakewood, Texas. It's kind of like right outside downtown. They do live music. 313, I think that's what it's called in Louisville. They do live performances. So you can go to a nice little spot like that, a little bar, something cozy, to where y'all can just talk. You know what I mean? It's not too loud, it's not a lot of people. You know what I mean? And y'all can get to know each other and just, vibe out. That's it.
What if a woman told you she had like a 3-month rule? How would you like deal
What's
with
the
that
3-month rule? Like, what
before
explain?
she lay down with you?
She'll be all right. She'll be safe.
Okay.
Because
What
after
about
we get
waiting
past
to
three
marry
months and
to
she
get
look at this
married?
stuff, I'm gonna be like, nah, we good.
What
She
about
what?
waiting to get married?
Waiting to get married?
Uh-huh.
What's the
Before
three
you have
months?
sex.
Oh, that's cool.
You'll be okay with that?
Yeah. Why not? Why wouldn't I be?
I'm just
I j-
asking.
gotta
I'm a
test
little
the waters first.
Yeah,
Look,
man.
I've been on this planet for a long time. So, you know what that kind of leads to. So, for instance, you can meet somebody and not do anything, and y'all can be cool forever. The moment you meet somebody and you engage in those type of activities, the expectation changes, right? Certain
Mhm.
people are going to be expecting certain things, and certain people are going to say, "Oh, that's kind of like almost getting married." And at that point, to some people, or you are now my girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever y'all want to call it. So now the expectation is going to mess up what you could have learned about that person. You don't have time to really learn about that person because now you've taken that intimate part a little faster than normal. And that next morning, that walk down the hall is gonna be crazy. So, living the life, I could say when I was younger, it was a little bit different because you experienced some things. You know what I'm saying? Some parties here, parties there, uh, a lot of stuff. It's crazy.
I understand. I think especially when you introduce sex prematurely, it kind of clouds your judgment. Like a lot of red flags that you would probably address, you'd be like, it's not that bad. Especially if
Exactly.
it's good sex. You probably be like, I might be able to deal with that. I can tolerate that. But then those be those same thing later on that you find very annoying and it's bothering you now.
Yeah,
So,
and then you didn't iron that out in the beginning. You know what I mean? It was
hmm
like you didn't did that, and then you got to look at it too. Sometimes too, like too early, and you exposing a lot of what you do. So I have a real like a belief of saying like you can't give people wifey what I mean, ex or wifey expectations, or you doing husband duties to somebody that's not your chick like that, and you don't gave them all in that one night. Now, what do you have to look forward to? You know what I mean? Like, what are you building this on? And it can get kind of cloudy. It can get kind of, what I mean? So, at this age, yeah, and I'm thinking like most people should be, and that's just me saying this. You should be at a point right now to where you didn't figured all that out in the past. You didn't had your one night stands. You didn't had your failed relationships and all that. So at a certain age, you should be at a point to where I didn't figure this thing out. So now you expecting and you have a different expectation because you have more behind you than you do in front of you. So you need to understand what you're dealing with, what the cards can be played, and what you're willing to play with. You know what I mean? So I really think that people should figure that out. I would rather sit down and talk to you and just figure you out for a little minute. It's nothing major. Because where I'm from, you can get some sex before you can get something to eat,
isn't that
or get something
crazy?
to eat before you can get sex. So
Listen, I'm telling you, I would always wonder why men did not govern their bodies like they want women to govern their bodies. So like it's okay if a man sleep around and have all these women on his record and body count, but a woman and then immediately her value goes down. So it's like you worried about your money and your resources, but not your body. And it don't make sense to me. Your body should be just as important to you as ours should be to us. But that brings me to this question Philip has for you. He said, "What is premature sex in a relationship?"
shoot, one night stands. That's mainly what it is. You know what I mean? Or somebody's not. I think it's more like your one night stands. So like you might go out on a Saturday and you might meet somebody, and then y'all go jump right in the sack, right? So It's been mornings, you done woke up and you don't even know who this person is. You don't know the person name, last name, age, none of that. It's just y'all done got it in. You know what I mean? You might not see that person. Just imagine you doing that for like years at a time. You know what I'm saying? So what are you getting out of it? You still have a void. You still haven't found anyone. You just going out there and getting it in, and at the end of the day, you're still in the same situation that you were in. So, um, to piggyback off the last question, you can't really judge people, that way. That's why I was cool with a lot of girls. I never judged them like that. You know what I mean? When some dudes be like, "Oh, she done did this and that and that and that and that." I'm like, at the end of the day, bro, fellas are doing the same thing. So how can you
Ever.
judge this female that way? And I know 5 of my homeboys doing the same thing. So, you know what I mean? It's kinda like, come on now.
All right. He also asked what is being swallowed, but we're not gonna play with that question because we know what the hell that
He
means
What he
anyway.
talking about being in the sea and getting ate by a shark? You know what I
Right.
mean? Falling off the boat, I hope. That's what you was
He
talking about?
said that happens between two adults.
What happens between 2
Premature
adults?
sex. He said there's no relationship, just casual sex.
Okay, so no relationship, casual sex. How many people just having casual sex? That's a large percentage of people just having casual sex, right? So now, when it's time to lock this person down or you wanna get locked down, you either gonna end up on a dating app trying to find someone, and the first headline on that dating app is gonna read, "If you're here for just sex, then you need to bypass my profile." I promise you, 70 to 90% of those is gonna be on these dating apps because somebody didn't been, one night standing it a long time, and then after a while, they realize they want to
Some
settle down
more.
and get something real. Somebody's gonna want something real, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to realize it, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying what's his Philip? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that whatever you do, that's you. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you rocking, hey, that's cool. I'm just saying that somebody at my age, I, bro, I'd have been to the Super Bowl parties, NBA parties. I done ran with them, everything. I've seen 6 girls get in the back of a F10 or F-150, or 6 girls in the Escalade, and there's 2 dudes heading to the house. Now you got 10, 15 dudes that was going out with you. Now you times that times the amount of girls that's there. So when you get there with your 10 homeboys, you got another 30, 40 girls that then pull up to the crib and it's just going down. And then you doing that for years, and years. I've seen them. You want substance now. Because now you know every time you go from Atlanta and you go from LA, you in Vegas, you in New York, you in New Jersey, then you go to the Bahamas and all that. You seeing these same faces. Now you kinda like, "Oh, wait a minute. Every other city we go." You done heard the song. So you seeing these same females. Now you're trying to pick through which ones you haven't seen. So when you see her, you're like, "Bam, I ain't seen her in 9 years. I ain't never seen this female." Now you really trying to get to know this person because she's really not out there like that. I've seen a player get pissed off at a dude simply because the girl that came around wanted the square dude. And he like,
Mm.
"I'm used to getting all these females, like, why I can't get this woman?" So he ended up wigging out because she wanted the dude that wasn't coming out as frequent. She knew that he wasn't hanging out like that. You know what I mean? He was taking a different route. So, yeah, you're gonna want that diamond in the rough at some point. You know what I mean? You're gonna settle down and get tired of it.
But what
I'm
I
telling
have learned too is that even the guys that are up to no good, they still want good girls. Like it don't even make sense to me. Like they out there doing their thing, but while they're picking and choosing, they want to pick the good girls. They don't want nobody that's out there roaming the streets and being a thought or whatever. They still going after the good girls, the
want
quiet
the one
ones, the
that's
one that
not
they don't
touched.
think is out there in the streets like that.
Yeah, you don't want the one that's been touched and funneled around with because
Hmm.
now you can say, "Oh, she's mine. That's the one for me. Nobody's ever been with her." You know what I'm saying? So you wanna lock that one down. But then, like, the other ones are for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Girl for you, the rest
Exactly.
of 'em for everybody.
Like you should be for the streets too. All right. So number 26, and it's only 30. So we're down to the last four questions. Ladies, gentlemen, any more questions? Y'all go ahead and put them in the comments and he'll answer them. If you can, I got them. We'll tag team it. Number 26. What's the best advice you've ever gotten about relationships?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I remember, It was this dude. Um, we was at his house for a barbecue, and he had a lot of old school cars. So he's like, "Yeah, man, come on out here and check out my car, man." So we driving around, and he said, "Just because she's pretty doesn't mean she's the best one for you." And I thought about that one because the quality, fella that this was an OG. He was older than me. Um, he didn't mean no bad intent on giving me this information, and I really had to listen to him because I value his opinion as being the type of guy he was. He was up in that level, and to get married and for a woman to settle down with him, and not to say his wife was ugly or anything like that, but it was some valuable information. And he ended up being right. Like sometimes you gotta look at the diamond in the rough. You gotta look at it a different way. And I was trying to explain that to a little kid, well, a kid this week, Saturday. He came
Mhm.
in there. Drewski has a show, and he came in and was like, "Oh man, I don't know why Drewski picked this girl. She was ugly and this, that, and she fat and that and that." I said, "Look here, bro. You have to understand the way the world looks at everybody. They're gonna be looking at everybody because everybody's gonna want the prettiest girl. They're gonna want the biggest this and biggest that and the this and that. They're gonna want the top notch." I said the show was to show you guys that all the contestants that was on this show was using their facial value to talk about the rest of the chicks on the show. I said the point of her getting the money is because she had the confidence. She wasn't what everybody expected her to be. You know what I'm saying? So that was the best advice I've gotten from a guy. It's like don't look at and be too judgmental because that table can turn on you and be used against you. You might fall in love with somebody and want this person. She like, yeah, but I see right past you and I want that one. So,
Right.
yeah, the best advice was like, man, just don't fall for the small waist, pretty face. You know what I mean? It's more into it than that.
Substance. Most
Substance.
people want substance. Philip says, "True talk. Beauty doesn't mean she's the best."
Right.
And he followed it up with, "Beauty fades and sexy body will shrink one day."
Shrivel up.
Sexy body will shrink one
Yeah,
day.
or blow up. They can they can shrink or explode. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my God.
'Cause I've seen some chicks that didn't get no rhythm, no play, no value in high school, and they turned out to be some beautiful young ladies. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people overlooked it.
I believe I was
And they
probably an ugly duckling. I think I got better looking over the years. I definitely was way more insecure back then because a lot of the girls in school was like skinny. I was always like thicker than everybody, and I did not like it. I actually still don't like it, but now it's the thing, it's okay. But back then, I was always like, in my opinion, the
she
ugly
said
duckling.
it's a
But my
thing and it's
sister
okay.
was like slim, like cheerleading. I have a whole story of how I tried to join a cheerleader team, and
Oh, well, that ain't gonna
I
happen back then.
didn't get picked because short and thick wasn't in. Like you had to be tall, skinny, and I was athletic. I could do flips, I could split, but because I was
Yeah,
not the
too thick.
image that they were looking for, I didn't make it. I was traumatized by that for a long time. Thanks a lot. Good thing I got over that. All right, what would your friends and family say is your biggest strength and weakness in a relationship? And did you agree with what they would say? Do you
I
agree?
wouldn't I wouldn't even be able to answer that one because they didn't really have no effect on our relationships.
They don't have an opinion about what they believe to be your.
I haven't had a lot of relationships, so that yeah affect. I mean, strength and weakness. I would that probably wouldn't apply to me on that.
Well, I would think that everyone would have something that they would consider a strength and a weakness when it comes to
But that would
relationships. And
be
when I say relationships, I don't necessarily mean a romantic relationship. So, like with your relationship, so like you gotta have
just
business
people in
relationships.
general.
Yeah, your
Oh
relationships,
yeah,
your
I'm loyal to
connections in
all.
general.
I'm loyal to. I'm rocking with who I rock with. And then probably the on the other side is, yeah, I'm same way. If I'm not rocking with you, you're gonna know that I'm not rocking with you. Simple as
Okay.
that. But I'm
Yeah,
loyal.
that's a great
Yeah,
answer.
loyal to a fault.
All
So,
right. This, my friend. Wait, I should supposed to have two more questions. I only see one. All right. Well, I'll give you this one, and then I'll give you another one in a minute. But this is the one before the last one. What is the one thing that you're working on with yourself to be a better individual?
um, you could always use patience. How about, patience has been a main thing. I like to tell people to have patience. So that's something you can work on every day. You know what I mean? That's the difference between making something work and not making it work. So no matter how old you are or how young you, it's always good to have patience. So that's something I constantly work on. Patience.
All right. Last but not least, and we're gonna wrap this interview up.
Mm.
I'm gonna ask you what makes you feel most alive and fulfilled.
Man, my 13-year-old and my family, like being able to be there for them and knowing that they can call on me. Oh yeah, that's what it is. At this stage of life, yeah, I've always been for family oriented, but now it's just like you figure it out and you see, what it is. So yeah, I'm definitely into the family. That's one thing that I've had that never turned their back on me was family. So that's what's up for me right
That's
now. And I
dope.
like a person that's into their family, like liked by their family, loved by their family, into family and things like that. Yeah.
I think the type of relationship dynamics that you are surrounded by or that you are involved in kind of shed light on what type of person you are as well. So that's huge. What you just said, that's really huge. It's also a red flag if a man does not have those type of dynamics with family and friends.
Even females, if you meet a female and she's not cool with her mother, her sister, and she don't have any friends, fine. That's gonna be bad. Cause how you not good with the person that raised you and give birth to you? You came out of that canal, and here it is. You're not locked in with your mother. You know, what I'm saying?
Well,
Especially if
you
she's a
might
good
want to get a
person.
story first now, because there has been some situations. Yeah, there's
Well,
extenuating
if you're,
situations.
you're you come from a good background, you're gonna know automatically. I'm saying if everything is, everything is everything. You have some situations to where everything doesn't work out that way. Or you have some bad, but you have some chicks out here, right? And it just cut and dry. Like I know a situation right now. The mother, I don't know their background, but if you were to talk to them, she'll go over to the other location and talk bad upon her daughter. But then when you see the daughter, you kind of like, yeah, I can kind of see
Mm.
what your mama was saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's not my situation, it's just somebody that I know right now, currently. And it's like, dang, you don't even get along with your mom. You don't get along with your kids, none of your kids' dads. You don't get along with nobody. You know what I mean? And it's
Like, who do
crazy.
you get along with? Right.
And
That would
who
definitely be a question mark. It'd be questionable for me. Like, you don't have anybody you get
any
along with?
and I get along with her because I don't have to deal with her. Like I've never done anything personally to her. I just met her and whatever. But I can understand at some point something has happened there.
Right.
Whatever the case may be, I'm not at fault. But I know how to be peaceful with people. But it's an underlying issue with this young lady that she's having to where you can't get along with anybody, and it's got to be some kind of trust factor or
Hmm.
something that's going on. It can be somebody that touched her. Um,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
really deep, and if they look into it, they'll be able to pinpoint what's going on. But she's reaching out for help. She probably just don't have nobody to grasp onto to help her up. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a red flag, definitely.
Yeah. I think also because I met this lady, well, I didn't meet her, but she was working at an establishment that I used to visit. And her daughter used to work with her. So I would used to see both of them out there working. And this particular day, I didn't see her daughter. And I was like, hey, where your daughter at? And she was like, fuck that bitch. And I was like, wait, what? I said, excuse me?
Wow,
And she repeated it. And I was like, all right, I don't want to tackle that one. She said, I don't
that's
either. And she just walked away. So you just don't know like what happened, who did it, who done it, whatever. But I know it's some crazy stuff. Like my family is a crazy dynamic with my family, but we still strive to try to have some kind of cohesiveness amongst the family and the kids and their kids. And we keep trying to do better. So if you're not actively trying to be a part Like I don't know what else you would live for if it's not family. Like I'm not sure what else. So and then I know you can build your own family. So if you're doing that, that's something versus what you've been doing all this time by yourself. Like what's that about? So we're going to end this interview, but I'm also going to ask you if it's something you want to say to the ladies out there before we end the interview. And then I want you to give them ways that they can reach out to you if they want to hit you up in case Cree 21 Boom made a love connection.
Yes, wow. Um, I would say, man, if you're out there, go ahead and don't devalue yourself, know your worth. You know what I'm saying? Walk with confidence, be a confident lady. A lot of men are attracted to confidence, and be honest with yourself, and it'll work out. I can be reached at on Instagram, Falon McKnight, on Facebook, Falon McKnight,
Spell it.
YouTube, Phalon, last name McKnight, McKnight, like Brian McKnight. You can also catch me on view some of the YouTubes and stuff like that on YouTube.com at the PM Lifestyle. And I'm on, what is it? Just recently on TikTok and what is it? Twitter? It's Falon McKnight. So it's everything Falon McKnight, man. You can tap in with me and stuff like that and follow me. So I'll definitely be there.
All right. Hey, KL Young. Thanks for tuning in. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Singles. And hopefully I made a love connection somewhere around the world. Who knows? You just follow up with me if you do or did not or whatever. I'm always open to hear your story. Thank you again for coming on the show. Thanks guys for watching. And y'all remember to stay sucker free like Cree.
All the time.
Bye.